Good day, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Viper of Viperland, and I am here with what could potentially be, I'm hoping, the final Final Fantasy 16 stream. Also, I should have gotten myself to where I needed to go, but clearly I didn't do that. So, let's go do that. Oh yeah, I guess we just go there. I forgot. It's been a few streams. Yeah, so we should be good. We did every side quest we could. We did every mark. Where it should be done. We're gonna commit. We're going to Origin. Also, hey Ramen, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Sound up for me a little bit. This game is just low volume in general until it hits those big actiony bits. Yeah, I know. Other people actually get to see the stream again sometime. I have no idea what I'm going to stream tomorrow if this does finish tonight. I'm still reserving tomorrow in case there's tomfoolery and this doesn't finish tonight, but I don't really know what I'm going to do tomorrow if we do finish it. We'll figure something out. We got no shortage of games. Also, I did get hit for the Astrodome of the exact song I thought I would. One of the ones we played towards the end of it just got muted in the VOD automatically. I knew that was the one song. I was like, we might... That's the one. It got muted in the VOD, but who cares? I wasn't archiving it. But I knew it, and I called it too.
We'll see.
Yeah, not used to hugs, you know. Don't think his family were big on physical affection. Just a little bit of a hunch.
You're in charge now, Gav.
And what does Taya have to say about that? Come back before she finds out, eh?
Gav's voice actor does a really good job. Not that anyone here is a slouch, but like... Gav's voice actor does a really good job.
Thank you, Yote. I'm sorry.
Your Grace, I shall pray for your safe return. That's kind of you. But you
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that I think unless something happens in this final quest that changes that, I would say Gav gives the best performance. They're all good. I don't think anybody's like holding anything back here, but Gav goes above and beyond. I'd probably say Sid did too if he continued, you know.
I'll keep that in mind.
He did a great job while he was here.
Well, there's nothing to say that hasn't already.
He also does a really good job.
Never stopped me before, so just you do what needs doing.
He keeps it a bit lighter.
Don't worry about us.
We'll do our best.
He honestly keeps it from getting just a little too dark. That's important.
If that is all? Not quite. Jill.
It's time, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It is. Take care of him.
Is he not coming on the final mission? Then we fail the final mission. The hard stop. If he doesn't come on the final mission, we fail the final mission.
You take care of her too, boy.
There's no other way to put that. You are leaving behind your best and strongest resource.
Don't forget, Clive.
And also your girlfriend.
We all choose our own path. Believe in yours.
Yeah. It's kind of nice. As much as I love the usual array of English voice actors we've gotten accustomed to these days, they do great jobs. It's nice to hear other voice actors. And go figure, stage actors do a great job. That's one of the reasons Simon Templeman was like iconic when he was doing voice acting stuff. Hell, that's the reason why the entirety of the Legacy of Kain voice cast, all of it, all of the games, always, was just top tier.
I know. I love you too.
I'm glad we did the side quest though. Glad we got that. At least they had some a happy moment in a side quest. I still wouldn't call it exactly the best video game romance of all time, but they got to have a happy moment. That's good. I like that. Oh damn, we got everyone up here. Okay. We got the whole squad. They put so much characterization and world building into the side quests. So much of it. To the point where I'd argue if you skipped all the side quests, you were almost playing a different game.
No.
Like,
We have a
it's
lot to do.
drastic. You'd miss the majority of... Not the majority. That's... You would miss a whole lot of world building, though. Stuff I'd argue is important. Yeah, you'd miss some fluff, too, but, you know, sometimes you need some fluff. It's important. Like, I'd be willing to bet if you find, like, bad reviews of this game that aren't just, I wanted a turn-based JRPG and it's not that, to which, you know, fair, but that person was never going to like it. But I'd argue if you find, like, mid to bad reviews of this, it will definitely be people who just didn't do the side quests and wanted to, like, rush the story and was like, Not that I've looked up any reviews even to this point, but, like, having played this far, that's my gut feeling. Again, unless they botch the ending or something, which is possible. Other games have done it. Berseria botched its ending. Great game. Would recommend it to anyone still, but the last, like, 45 minutes of it, kinda weak. Kinda weak. Doesn't change the fact that the preceding 60 are kinda strong, but it does kinda drop the ball story-wise at the ending.
Here they come. Hold on, Joshua. Already am.
I believe that's why we still have one of the lore commands. I believe it calls in Calico and it just says Velvet Crow deserved better. It's absolutely in reference to the ending. Yeah, different people view that different ways. There are definitely a good swath of people who are like, if I'm left feeling unsatisfied at the end of it, that's bad, and I understand that. But for me, if I've got
He's going to make us a way in.
95% of the game is phenomenal, 5% of it's kind of weak, I still view that as a total win. But I understand why people are of the different mind on that one. Like, if all it flubs is the ending, it's still mostly good. It's a great ride to a kind of eh. Now, if it's a ride to a obviously there's a problem. Alright, well. The city's seen better days. With the inverse of Xenoblade 2. Yeah. Man. Xenoblade 2 doesn't start strong and has those jarring character designs. Pyra.
So this is Origin.
I'm glad I stuck with it. I am glad I stuck with it.
A far cry from heaven.
I wasn't even gonna get the game when I saw the character designs. I was like, nah, that's okay. Too goofy for me. It's too much. It's too much. I'm glad I changed my mind.
Your architect.
There you are.
It was here that we slumbered.
There's a reason I just straight recommend 3 instead.
Waited
2 was very good, and I'm glad I played it. 3 was just better in my
to
opinion.
our
Just
decrepit shell, for fear that we might have need of it once again. But you have come.
I like the way
at
his second pair of
last.
arms, like usually when you see 2 arms on a humanoid figure, you've got
And
arm
now
1 and
we
then like
shall be
arm 2.
truly
But his
complete.
is arm 1 and then the other one is behind it. Same general concept of like, hey, let's just slap another arm on something, but I don't know.
There's
The
3 of
way
us.
it's attached is different, and it gives it just that smidge of like a different vibe. There go Bahamut. Oh yeah, if you draw one of them. Yeah.
Dominance. We will show you what it means to suffer.
And of course, we have to be red, because red has been the theme of our family this whole time. And he's got to be blue, because, you know, if it's going to be red versus something, it's going to be red versus blue. Like, it should be. It wholeheartedly should be. Jeez! I hit that button. Ultima Prime. Alright. Damn. Oh, okay. 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 Just backhanded Phoenix. That's uncool. Ah, our combined health pool, Ifrit, Phoenix, and Bahamut. At least they've all learned how to do a barrel roll. Jeez, though. Axe homing lasers? This is fun. Yeah, big fight scene. Sorry, I might miss that text for a minute. Because big fight scene happening. Jeez. I wouldn't call it big fight scene right now. I'd call it the slow and methodical destruction of my HP bar. Definitely what I'd call it. Technically, we landed a hit or 2. Why does his Ifrit get a chest laser? It's totally cheating. Little damage, little damage. Revelation. I never remember what. I always thought it was like Phoenix Flame was the ultimate, at least in 7. 7's the only one I really remember Phoenix in. I know Phoenix was in 8. I don't think Phoenix was in 9. Definitely not in 10. 12 had a whole new suite, and not in 13, so I guess it's really just 7 and 8 for me, for Phoenix. And 14, you know. Try dis- oh jeez, okay. I know Try Disaster, though. That's Mega Sisters. Okay. Ultima Prime thwarted. Well, that was, you know, we got that. In terms of Western section of the game. Is that what they did? Because if so, yes, I would agree wholeheartedly. I would very much agree.
And you only surrendered. This unpleasantness could have been avoided.
Didn't expect Fry Disaster happening. That was pretty cool. Oh, teleported behind me. Nothing personnel, Ifrit. How dare he? Is this one-winged Ifrit? I swear I always call it Ifrit, but like the game's got me saying Ifrit lately. That's a yep, that is a one-winged Ifrit. Spirit bomb. This is just everything. It's everything. Well, I'll say, Sword, how's it going? Welcome to Viperland in the chat. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, that's weird. It's a good thing the game volume is really loud, so you can't hear me just clicking away the screenshot button, because it's getting drowned out by the actual in-game sound. But I assure you, it's there. Well... Oh. That was pretty good. Oh. Oh. Gotta say, I think every single icon in this game is an improvement on their regular design except Bahamut. Bahamut's fine. It's not a bad design, but I just don't feel like it elevates it above Bahamut from any of the previous games, except maybe 15 is so different. I'm not even going to count 15. That one doesn't even... Like, it's not bad. It's just, I like previous... I hope he manages to pull through. He deserves better. He has this whole game deserved better. But I also kind of think he knew coming up here he probably wasn't coming back. No. I feel like they all kind of figured that. That's why they all had the goodbye down below, because they all kind of think they're not coming back. Like, they talk a big game, but I don't think any of them actually expect to get back. I don't know, the Bahamut cannons, not feeling it, and like the design of the face, it's okay. I don't hate it, it's still Bahamut. Bahamut's always going to be cool, but I feel like other games kind of hit my aesthetic for him a bit better. Just rolled credits. It would only be a meme if they did that and then sold the DLC with the actual ending for like $20. That would be, you know, here, did you hate that ending? Buy the real one. It's definitely not what 13.2 did. Definitely not what 13.2 did. Yes, sir. God, I hate that game. Which is so funny, because I really actually like most of Lightning Returns. I feel like they handle Lightning poorly, which is funny in a game entirely about her, but, like,
Take my hand.
still think it's way better than 13.2. You'll... Alright, so, the one thing I guess I still don't get the thing in his chest, I thought that was sealing Ultima. But Ultima's been all around us and messing with us ever since then. So maybe it's like just a fraction of his power and the bit of him outside is getting stronger or something. But if he's out there slapping the pants off of us, why keep the thing that's killing you in your chest? That's the only thing I feel like, hold on, maybe Active Time Lore will have something about it. His grip upon the creature he sealed away inside himself by the altar in Drake's head. Okay. One of Ultimal's... Oh! That's fair. They had mentioned that he had, like, different discarded avatars and stuff. So maybe just the little bit of him that's, like, breaking through. Yeah. Yeah, it does seem to be that this is just a fragment of his power breaking through, messing with, like, previous icons and stuff to, like, channel that power. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Whereas I'm sure if the seal breaks, we in for big bad time. I'm assuming that. Okay, cool. That was the one thing I kind of didn't understand. I haven't used much Active Time Lore, but I'm really happy it's here for when I need it. Really happy. That's a fantastic addition. Love it. Potts uses it all the time and like actively reads all the stuff and has noticed little like they hide little details in there, which is also great, so I'm gonna have to go through some of those. The core. This is off to a great start. We are down a Bahamut and limping our way in this direction.
Sorry about Dion.
Don't be.
We've started strong.
He did what he had.
Should we stop?
Because of the cough. No, I think we're past that, Clive.
You know, I think he's right about that one, actually. He definitely should have been taking care of himself better before this point. But he also raises a good point now. We're a little past that.
That light, so cold, so empty.
Is my mug
We're
stuck?
close, aren't we?
It
Gotta sit.
seems that way. But I don't want to think what could be waiting for us in there.
And think instead of those waiting for us at home.
It's not looking great. But, like, his power's gotta be really, really strong to seal that away for this long. Like, to seal away a legit god. Like, he has sealed the power of the being that literally created humans in a little bubble in his chest. That's some power, yeah. Ah. This bodes well.
They can't be.
But they are. This is the Nexus,
Ah, I believe in Nexus.
a wellspring of life. Yours and ours. As we watch the world stumble slowly to its dark end, it was here we pledged.
Keep hoping to time it between the subtitles, but that's true, it wouldn't be,
And
yeah.
now, with the ether we have harvested,
This is where you download mods, yes.
I shall raise my kin from their eternal slumber. That together we may usher in a new age of reason.
This was never about creation. Only self-preservation.
Oh, I hope so, Sor.
An entire world so that you alone might escape death.
Alone. him alone. Clive, I think I understand. He...
Oh, that's a lot of him. Sure is a lot of him.
Oh no.
They sacrificed their flesh to become beating hearts of crystal that pumped the land's lifeblood from the depths of the earth unto this very chamber. And thus would they labor still, long after their work was done, had you not set them free.
Ah, pants.
You meant for us to destroy the mother crystals. It's what you wanted all along.
You have our gratitude, Mythos. In this you have served us well. You have both served us well. Welcome home, brother.
Speaking of the bad things that'll probably happen,
I thought it was me, but it wasn't my grasp that grew weaker. It was theirs that grew stronger.
yeah, bad. Pretty not so great.
Joshua! No!
And now we can become one.
Infusing is so cheating.
Clive.
Don't speak.
So I guess that answers my how could he have one sealed inside him,
Destructive flames of Ifrit.
and there could be one messing with us.
Of the Phoenix.
They were two separate versions.
I once believed would be Ultima's true form. But I was wrong. I see it now. Why you will never become Ultima's vessel.
I don't care. Just hold on.
Listen to me, Clive.
And that is,
The murals.
there's some chunk to that blood around his mouth.
Their god. That he created them. And they worshipped him, prayed to him, looked to him for guidance.
In vain.
In vain. For he did not listen, did not acknowledge our will, and so we strayed from his path to forge one of our own. So absorbed was he in his own desires, so driven by his own will alone, that he shunned the one thing that could have made him truly powerful. Faith. The same faith people now place in you. Faith that you will fulfill their dream, Sid's dream, of creating a better world for us. Faith that you will follow in Father's footsteps and save those who need saving most. Faith that you will answer Jill's plea to save yourself. The difference is, Clive, that you chose to listen, and that is what has steeled our bonds. Bonds that helped you stand firm when Ultima's pull was at its strongest. His power may be absolute, but so is ours, and so will yours be. With my light in your heart, not even a god might stop us.
Joshua!
That's a lot of blood.
Don't do it, you'll...
Enough, Clive. My body is too far gone. If the wound does not take me, the curse will.
Joshua also deserved a bit better, but I feel like he kind of knew this whole time. Like, yeah, so can always. I feel like he kind of knew he wasn't gonna make. Like, he knew he wasn't gonna make it to credits. He knew.
Thank you,
From
Clive.
honestly, from the moment we see him again after the time skip, I'm pretty sure Joshua knows he's not making it to credits. Still sucks, but you know.
Look at me, Joshua. Open your eyes! Open your eyes, Damien! Why? Why did you do this? Joshua! Joshua!
He's gonna be having a bad time. I mean, during the entire time skip, initial time skip, his entire motivation was just vengeance for Joshua. And you got a small little window of, oh hey, Joshua's okay, holy crap. And now he's also not okay. He's been on a bit of a roller coaster for that one. I like this look. Also, to continue my usual color theory, you'll notice that now, in the depths of despair, with Ultima basically just flexing above them, the sheer amount of blue saturation in the scene made it so none of the red on any of their outfits actually stood out. I'm just saying, it continues to track, but here, you can see it again. Right now. See the red again. I mean, the Phoenix Flame is always going to be red. That's just goes without saying. Like, that's just obvious. But the sheer way they lit the previous scene, between the blood on Joshua's outfit and the overwhelming blue, it all just looked black. For both of them.
With me.
For the first time, you don't see the red on Joshua's outfit. Even though it's still there,
Even now,
you see it.
you would deny the inevitable.
Just saying it tracks, okay?
That's what you always have. And always will.
I also love the concept of fighting a god. Let's take out a sword. I thought he was actually going to fight him with the sword.
I swear.
He still might.
To shield the Firebird's flame. Forevermore.
Fire sword, though. Inherently better. Yep. Fighting a god. Take out a sword. Let's do it. Ow. This is probably going to sting a bit. Blair? No thank you. No thank you. Don't want that. Okay. I think it's the first time we've seen Blair in this game, right? Like, we've seen like Giga Flare, Mega Flare, but like just Flare. You know what? I was gonna use it to heal, but this is fine. Get some damage in there. Holy! No thanks. That's okay. Ah, alright. Okay. Cool. You have holy. That's not wonderful. Not gonna lie. Not really wonderful. Don't like that. Take this. Get staggered, hopefully. Yes! Not staggered, but get the stun at least. Okay. The ultimate's already. Yes.
This moment in which I might revel in my creation, only to find it profaned and so it must be cleansed.
That's a bit much.
Unexpected. How is it that your will yet endures?
Because it's not so easily broken.
Is that the heckin' Dark Souls dark sign under us? Oh crap! Jeez, dude. Ew. Got some, I mean, he's got, no, no, I don't want it, I don't want it. Okay. Okay. Ooh, I like the way the wings go. That's cool. The stagger him. We gotta stagger him. And then we gotta somehow make good use of that stagger. No thank you. I don't like it. Might? I thought that was gonna hit me, honestly. I really thought I got hit by that. Damn it, I tried to parry him. It was a bad idea. Oh, hey, Meteor. How are you doing? Oh, they're all gonna spread. Okay, okay, okay. Cool, cool. Just gonna heal real quick. Get that missing bit back. I mean, they want to give you a chance, I assume. You're without... Oh, hold on. We need Rising Flames. Hold on. Judgment Bolt is actually probably a bit early. Do we have time for this? And then... Giga Flare. I assume A, they want to give you a chance, and B, it's not even his final form. Flashy, though.
I sense more here than mere will. Is this no ghost?
His facial features have gotten, like, more defined. It's not just the, like, stuff on it. He's actually more defined. Once he absorbed the other guys, like, he looks more... like human facial features, not quite blurred like they or like melted like they were before. Ah, hello again.
I created you, all of you.
And he should have made us weaker is what I'm sensing.
And what is
Oh, it's cool looking. Oh, hello.
Once, perhaps. But we are no longer yours. Our flames are our own, and they burn as one!
Alright.
Have you learned nothing? Damned is the slave who would turn the scourge upon his master.
Ow. Okay. Bad hand. Jeez. Got so many hits, dude. Stop. Whoops. Fired that in the wrong direction. Oh, hello! Bullet hell, goodness. Three? Yep. Nope, he goes for it. Ah, damn it. Get a stagger. Oh, that sounds maybe not good. It's just smite, but several times. Oh no, that's like a okay. Can we? We can. We can't move it very far, but like that's not bad, right? There you go. Not gonna do too much of that. I just wanted to see if I could. I do actually just want to kind of experience this fight. I can always replay it for photos. Jeez. Maybe. I missed. He came at me and I missed. Oh, okay. Jeez. Jeez! Stop! Stop! Uncool! Okay. Okay. Starting to hurt a smidge. Hey, staggered though. Okay. Come on, chunk him down. Also, hey Mike, how's it going? Welcome to Viper in the chat. Yep, goodbye bitrate. Just that goodbye for a while. Again, I have double. I'm doing double the bitrate I was doing when I started the Rapture. Oh, I just finished that game. Literally just finished right before stream. Everyone's gone to the Rapture. Of course I got hit by it here. Like, yeah, I'm using double the bitrate I normally use. Double what I was when I started playing this game, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I straight up doubled it, and it's just laughing at it. Spin that way. Spin that way. Alright, stagger a little bit, get some damage in here. Missed that dodge. No, it's not enough. Yeah, it wouldn't have helped. I mean, I tried. For what it's worth, I tried. And this game went, particle effects. Press the attack. Well, I've been pressing dodge a lot of the time, so I guess I should probably. What? Okay, I was about to say, hit the button. I don't like what he's doing. This is not good. Yeah, Brimstone did frick all for it. Ow, that was a terrible time to unleash my shot. Jeez. Just hit him with this. Keep it going down. Oh, hello, lasers. How are you today? Could you not do that? Damn it, that's a laser. That's a laser too. Damn it. Oh, that was a waste. 10? Oh boy. Gotta be the beam. It's gotta be the beam. Cool. Ooh, boy, that was actually closer than I wanted that to be. We got nothing to smack him with hardcore here, but that's okay. Ow! Oh, we got raptured again. Damn it. Jeez, that hits so much. Aha! Aha! Screw you! Aha! Damn it! He always comes back. Oh, nope! That's a big laser. That's a big laser. Ah. That's two big lasers, actually. Damn it. Didn't think he'd do another turn. What? No, I wasn't in that. Oh, crap. Well, I only have so much healing, so I hope this goes better. And by this I mean my dodging. Got greedy trying to hit him with the fire attacks. Jeez. Stop! Yeah, I hope you guys end up seeing anything, but I also kind of don't expect you will. Big hits, big hits. Dodge the rapture this time. Nope, nope. Didn't do it. I keep forgetting I have light speed. It's basically just a instantly move to target dash. Doesn't do the damage that the other dash does, but no, 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 that's gonna really hurt. Well. Fight again. Where I dodged. Alright, alright. Wait, it's like right now? Oh, I believe it, yeah. Sure, it's bad. Noticeably, I'm sure it is.
No. My will is inviolable. Something is wrong.
You're afraid. You always have been. From the moment the Blight exposed what you were, weak, you conceived us to prove otherwise. But the result shook you to the core.
It's right, you know.
For in us you saw yourself, and realized we had the potential to be more than you could ever be. And so you turned your back on your creation. Your back on the world. Like the coward you are.
You think you know me? You know nothing, Logos. Nothing.
Alright, so we know nothing, but you know, we're kinda doing it okay. What do you do? No, don't. That's not. No. I don't want that. No, thank you. Definitely no thank. Nah, I didn't need that. That's okay. That's alright. No. No, this is not good. Yeah, this might be bad. This might be bad. We might be in trouble, guys. Just a little bit of trouble. See, the secret is, even if you can't see what's happening, you can hear, and that's the important thing right now. Oh crap, he's got a cool mask.
Raised in light, I stand above you, my rebirth complete. And you, for your defiance, shall pay the proper price. An eternity of anguish.
Anguish. Pain. Suffering. You have known none of these. But we have. So we know what they grant. They bring us together. Battle what? Make us strong.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was looking at the AoEs, not his dash.
My will be done.
Oh, how dare you use that against me? Oh, nah, nah, bro. No, 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 no. That's not allowed. That is simply not allowed. You don't get to use Titan's parry. Only I do. Oh, yeah, he's just got everything. That's cheating. Alright. Going for 4? Okay. Damn it! A little healing. Yeah, you cannot out JoJo us. I refuse. I will not allow that to happen. Oh no! Oh no! That's cheating! Okay. No! I refuse. Bastard. Oh, I wish that staggered him. Okay. That hurt, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. I didn't mean to do that one first. Well, we're gonna have to adjust then. Take that. Get a little healing. Get a little rising flames. Get a little punchy. And Judgment Bolt. Okay. Did it out of order, but it still did a chunk of damage, so I'm okay with it. Yeah. Phew. Power is better than your power. Oh. Well, I think I know what phase is in now. You think we can't beat you at all of these? We already proved we can out-Titan counter you. What? Yeah, we can out-aura you. I'm sure you can see none of that. Extra flare? Okay. Boreal Rhapsody. Alright. Severance cheese! Ever see those movies with like where they're sneaking into a building and they got that like web of laser beams they gotta like use gymnastics to go through? That's what that just was. Oh no! While he's slowing me, that's so unfair! Damn it. Okay, fine. I apparently missed. Can use ice on ice. Take that. Oh crap! Didn't expect the explosion. Do it again. Nope. Waiting for him to do a melee attack. Okay. He had some follow-up attacks ready that I was not as prepared for. You're not going to come to me. I can just do that. Oh, okay. Ame. Wait here. Ame.
That's my boy.
Yeah, you can outbeam struggle Bahamut. You can't outbeam struggle us. You can't do it. We win these now. I love how Shiva's power is just always in the snap. Like, that's just a thing. It's in the snap. That's how it goes. Oh, it's whatever. I'm taking a bajillion screenshots. One of them was bound to error out. Don't care. I'm gonna just upload them to my thumb drive after this anyway.
No, mine is the altar at which you pray.
Me, personally, no. Absolutely not. No! You can't limit break. That's unfair.
And yet still you cannot see. You are no better than us. We are one and the same.
We are not the same. No man will stand beside me.
Nope. No, not holy. What do we got? What do we got? For a second, so I can do this. Yep. Wow, that still doesn't do enough. I'm just doing this for the healing at this rate. I did pop one of my potions, though. Damn it! Well. Maybe error. Man, Soken going hard as hell. Okay. Oh crap! Take this. Wow. We're about to be able to diamond dust him again. Or not. Or not! Ice, 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 ice. It's not even reaching him. Oh no! Well. Jeez, and he just goes back into normal attacks. Oh, I should not have done that. That's okay. Nope. Ouch. Come on. It's got so much stuff going on, and I just want to diamond dust them. Okay. I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. It's really cool. He's using a lot of really flashy abilities, and it hurts, and I have to actually pay attention, unlike phase 1. But yeah, I can imagine you guys probably can't see any of this. Again, that's the ultimate form of copy protection. If nobody can see what's happening in your game when you stream it, people will have to buy it. It just checks out. It makes sense. Ultima again. Oh, what the hell to do about that? Okay, there. And it's probably not helpful that I have to focus, so I'm not saying as much. Oh, another spirit bomb. Alright, it's time for the spirit bomb. Yeah, like, I can't even imagine, like, this would work well on, like, YouTube. Like, at some point, like, it's just... it has to ruin it. Still hurts. But that means I can do this. Haha, get my HP back. Yeah, no. When I doubled my personal bitrate and it did nothing, I knew it was beyond my power. If I doubled it and it made it drastically better, then I would have felt kind of bad for not thinking to do that earlier. But since it did nothing, it's like, it's not me. There's nothing I could have done about this. There's a stagger. Alright. We, take fists. We take limit break. Diamond dust. Rising Flames. Judgment Bolt. Punch or two in. Giga Flare. It's the most damage I can do, I think. Okay. I believe that, Sor. I absolutely believe you. Suffice to say, this guy looks really cool. He's using the abilities of every icon and his own stuff. And it's really fun. But, yeah. There's been a lot of beam struggles of various types. All you have to know is he tried to come at me with Titan and I out-auraed him, and that's all that matters.
So sure of your place atop the world, you refuse to acknowledge those below. You chose to remain alone. And so you shunned the one thing that could have made you stronger. Pushed away the hands that could have raised you higher.
I do not need you, you or anyone.
And that is where we are different. I could not have made it here on my own. I carry with me the hopes and dreams of my brothers, my sisters. And it is they who will give me the strength to end your reign.
I cannot end.
Huh. I believe you can. How about with a blizzard? What with a fire? Final Fantasy?
The only fantasy here is yours. And we shall be its final witness.
Oh, just chuck the sword at him. Screw you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, jeez. It's just a big honking hole in him. Yeah.
It's over!
Alright. You can really see his face deform in slow motion with the punch. Very good. Very good. They definitely looked at slow motion footage for that. Okay. Yeah, he said the name. Oh, the hole got better? Hacks. I mean, what are we going to do with any experience from this, Sora? Like, what would we do if you gave a ton of EXP? Like, oh boy. Basically tutorial boss.
Tell me, what do you imagine will befall this world now that you have gained your precious freedom?
I honestly don't know. But I doubt it will be pretty. A sorry tale of sin and suffering, hardship and pain.
And it was for this that you fought so fiercely? Why?
It's who we are. We fight. We survive. We endure. We don't need a reason. We are imperfect creatures. When we stumble, we reach for a shoulder to lean on. When we fall, we stand back up. We see
The screenshots.
Ever out of reach, and still we march on. Certain the answers lie just beyond it. Because that is our way.
My congratulations. Relish this victory, knowing that you have but
Guy's really dying on the ground, like, huh, it's not gonna last long, fuckers.
your
Really?
world is already dead. May you enjoy an eternity on its blackened husk.
Wow. What a sore loser. Man. Gonna hate when that wallpaper comes up in random. But I couldn't not take the shot. Wake up for work one day, sit down at the computer, look up, be like, I'm awake now. Yeah, it would be a little bit of a spoiler. Anything from this stream. A little bit. You know? Jump scare, subscriber sound effect on Halloween. Yeah, yeah. We had talked previously about how they really gave most of the characterization in this game to the side characters. Like, Clive and Jill, vengeance, fight bad guy, do thing, defy fate, I guess. Kind of all of their character moments happen in time skips off camera. But the fact that they give most of the characterization to the side quests, to the side characters, does make the whole my friends stand with me bit at the end hit a bit harder than like your average. Like, it's a trope I enjoy personally. I like the power of friendship. Sue me, I'm a simple man. Power of friendship, don't stop using it, don't listen to the haters. But it definitely makes it land a bit harder when you've spent time with those side characters and you're like, yeah, those were cool people. You could see why he'd be like, I draw my strength from them. Ah, yes. Why is she there? The uncle clearly doesn't fit my color theory for red, so we just ignore the uncle when we talk about the color theory. I mean, he is an uncle. He's not technically immediate family, but... That's a baby. Indeed, baby. Even younger Clive. Looks better.
It seems Ultima's power was too great for this vessel all along. But while I have it, perhaps I can use it to set things right. And see Ultima's legacy. Bearers, dominance, crystals, magic, consigned to the flames. Even if it means the end of me. These are our terms.
Big crystal going away, yeah. Definitely wouldn't be the first game to put a scene from towards the end in a trailer out of context. Still, no doubt a sly one. Well, we did hit credits. And that is, you guys probably can't see it. That is this is gonna sound weird. That is some really good looking sand. Like, that is really defined granules and, like, damn. Like, the close up of the sand is actually really good. I know that's a weird thing to praise, but, like, damn. You didn't have to go that hard on some sand. You didn't have to. Ah. Well.
Can you see it too?
Yeah, I believe that.
Aren't you the most beautiful thing?
He is, isn't he? What are you gonna call him?
Let me see, let me see. Oh, read little one. Got a smile for your Uncle Gav.
Not so loud, you bird.
What? I was only...
Shh, you're scaring him.
It's all right.
Oh.
My one regret, the one thing I'm sad about, is that we didn't finish the final boss with a Torgal cannon like Renault uses in Final Fantasy VIII. The singular thing that's like, It's a missed opportunity. You really, really should have let me blast him away with Torval.
If you need a rest, I can take him. I'll hold you to that.
The world's yours now. Yours to do with as you please. That's what Sid wanted. That's what they both wanted.
Down to fit 500 characters? Jeez. Not only were you writing it, you refined it. I'll get to that in a minute.
And thus did our journey end.
made one of the better SIDs of all time. And the fact that, like, within, like, 48 hours of the game releasing, so many people were like, yep, this is one of the greater SIDs. Like, the community at large is like, great SID, fantastic SID, love them, wonderful. That's in a series that has had a lot of SIDs, and a lot of good SIDs. They outdid themselves. Chocobos are great. I love that our Chocobo gets an eye patch. It's wonderful. I love that. Yeah, they pulled off a very enjoyable single-player game. Obviously, music 10 out of 10. We don't even have to dispute that. It was soaking. It was always going to be 10 out of 10. Just like having a dog in your party was always going to be 10 out of 10. You can't ruin that. It's always going to be the best. I definitely am going to have to like go back through. I like the spectacle boss fights, but they definitely are a bit of a departure from your average Final Fantasy boss fight. Even though those are spectacle too, they felt different. It felt closer to like a Devil May Cry Bayonetta boss fight, which I had a great time with. I liked. Yep, I would agree. Gearing was probably the most disappointing thing. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't meaningful. It felt like every time I got an upgrade, there was already just another upgrade ready. It wasn't bad, but they could have just taken that out and just kind of scaled you up, and it would have been about the same. It was cool that you could swap your weapons around for visuals, but it's a shame that our final weapon looked like that instead of one of the icon weapons. That was the better weapon, as opposed to the one where the two Forge brothers came together and used legendary materials to forge it, but the just shiny silver sword that we had was statistically better at the end. Why? I would have much rather used... I mean, I could have used the other one. Nothing stopping me. Just a slight stat hit. It also doesn't have fishing. It's okay. It's okay that it doesn't have fishing, because 15 has the greatest fishing in all video gaming, and you can't top that, and that's okay. Alright, now to scroll back up and read other people's stuff. That's my overall thoughts. I really liked it. Clive, I wish they'd given him a little bit more. I feel like he kind of lacked characterization a little bit, but like, they really pushed so much of the characterization onto the side cast, and I don't think that was a bad decision. I don't think that was a bad call. Let's see. Yeah, it starts so dark, but his entire driving purpose is to cure that dark fantasy in the world. Like, that was Sid's purpose. Well, his original purpose was Joshua, but like, you know, post Sid dying time skip, his whole purpose was, this dark fantasy stuff ain't right. Fixing that. And you could see in the writing that it does go away from that. I mean, still's got dark moments, but you know. Some of the writing's very good. Some of the voice acting is phenomenal. Again, Gav is absolutely a standout. I really liked Mid as well, and Sid. Mid, Sid, Gav, total standouts. The rest of the cast did a great job, but like those three were above, just noticeably above the rest. Mostly because Mid, like the Uncle Byron, added like a bit of comedy to things. And that was needed. You cannot have a game that's all dark. You can't do it. At some point, it's just going to overwhelm you. You're going to be like, this sucks. I hate everything. You have to have those bits of levity, those bits of comedy. And those two characters really helped with that. Be more divisive than most games? Absolutely. But I feel like you can still sit down and be like, this is better than 15. I don't think anybody's going to sit there and argue Final Fantasy 15 was the better Final Fantasy. I don't think you can argue that. I just don't think you can. And 15 has redeeming qualities. But this was a finished, quality, polished game on release. Like, as we've been talking about, like, yeah, the upgrade system's a little lackluster, but it doesn't feel half-assed. You still were collecting those materials the entire game. Like, yeah, they could have tweaked numbers a bit, but like, no part of this game felt like, oh, that's totally unpolished. Oh, that feels just janky. No part of this game felt janky. At any point playing it, nothing felt jank. And I cannot say that about 15. And again, I overall liked 15 more than I hated it. it was weird that the MCU characters happen off screen. Like, that's an objectively weird thing, but considering all of the big events that happen to Noctis and his crew happen in a prequel anime or an outside the game movie, you know, it's still better. Yeah, Jill, she really did, like, she started cool. Her introduction post, teenage years time skip, really, like fighting and not realizing we were fighting her, like, her being a dominant, that was cool. And then, like, she was just love interest. She had the moment, she had her story beat, she had the whole going back and taking down the leader that basically enslaved her for years and forced her to murder people. That was a good moment for her, and that was the last big moment she had other than having Shiva sucked out of her naked body. I still didn't hate her, but like she could have been done better for sure. I don't know. I feel like the MMO elements worked, but I'm biased because I like MMO elements, so yeah. I'm sure... No, fishing is fine. They peaked with fishing in 15. That's the thing. Jill did get thrown away, kinda, yeah. It's true. Happens where it happened. Byron was great. Yeah, sorry, now I'm just going back to the stuff when I was talking. Maybe. I haven't gone through the Royal Edition, but I played it at launch, and at launch it had many issues. And many of those issues were all the character progression for every character that wasn't Noctis was DLC, and by design. Like, honestly, if they end up... no part of this game feels like it was cut out so they could sell it to us for DLC. If they do DLC for this, I'll probably look into it. I'll be a little sad if, like, Jill only gets characterization in DLC, but it doesn't feel like they took that away from her. It kind of just feels like they were focused elsewhere, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, this game was polished and complete. And if they do story DLC for this, at least from where I stand right now, it doesn't feel like they cut any of the story out. But hey, maybe they'll give Jill some more stuff in DLC? I saw one tweet and I didn't source it or anything, so like, it's the internet, take anything with a grain of salt. I heard that Yoshi P was tossing around the idea of Alexander as an icon for DLC, which would be... the only logical thing. The only thing that to me would be a logical... unless it's post-game content, which it could be, would be Leviathan. Because they name-drop Leviathan twice and specify it as a lost icon. It could be a post-game thing, I don't know. But, like, Leviathan's the only thing that's weird because it gets brought up more than once in the game and never makes an appearance. And we did all the side content stuff that was available before the end of the game. I was saying last night, I think you had left by then, Ramen, but I was saying with Potts, I hope someday I can stream 9, because I think you might like 9. 9 is very... yeah, it's still big world building and big world shattering stuff happens, but 9 is more than most Final Fantasies character based. 9 is very character based. I would agree, Sora. I would actually agree that 15 started that new era. 13 dipped its toes in that new era. 15 started us down the path, but it was a really rocky path that they didn't really pave beforehand. They kind of just went, there's a path here. And this one actually, forged a path. No, this series will not go back to turn-based, but I am okay with that as long as they keep putting out games like Bravely and Octopath. I understand that the thing is the people who want turn-based JRPGs exist, but they're aging out of the target demographic. I am no longer the target demographic for video games, and I am realizing this more as days go on. not the target demographic anymore. But Octopath Traveler 2 was really good. I still haven't even finished it. It's already much better than Octopath Traveler 1. And Bravely is phenomenal. Even Bravely 2nd was okay. But Bravely Default, iconic and fantastic. And Bravely Default 2, shockingly great. I really liked it. Yeah, that's the thing. Most people IRL do not like turn-based battle systems. There's clearly fans of it. We exist. There's many of us, but if you want the game to get mainstream acceptance and stuff like that, you're gonna go action-based. And credit where it's due, this game went 15 tried to do action-based, and the combat at 15 was weak from a gameplay point of view. It was flashy. It looked pretty. 15's combat, if you just looked at it, great. Playing 15's combat, and and this game leaned. They're like, okay, cool. So we're not doing we're not doing turn-based. Fine. And they leaned hard into action. They got the guy who did Devil May Cry 5 combat, and you know, that was the better choice. Trying to half-ass it and keep it like, oh, it looks flashy, but like, you're only still hitting a button or two to make it more accessible for the people. Like, this has an easier difficulty you can play, right? Cool, that's the right choice. I know that there's I didn't even know this was a thing until my friend tweeted about it, but there's a thing you can pick on here that has like a light that flashes for dodge timing if you're having problems dodging stuff. That's awesome. Hell yeah, if you want to feel the combat, but you're not good at nailing that timing, awesome. Accessibility, but for the people like me who wanted the combat to feel a little more like meaty, it did, and I liked that. Oh, that Aranea fight. Oh man, Aranea is such a good character and gets no time in that game. Yeah. So, like, if they're not going to do turn-based for Final Fantasy, fine, I've accepted that. I feel like I've accepted that since at least 15. The hard lean into action, I feel is the right call. 15 tried to half-ass it. This one hard leaned into it, and I feel like that was the right decision. If you're go in that direction, don't go a little in that direction. Maybe system changing like this period. Alright. The thing is, there will never be a shortage of turn-based JRPGs. Will we maybe not get turn-based Final Fantasies? Yeah, that might happen. But even if Square Enix never puts out another turn-based JRPG, you know there's going to be some quality indie people picking up that slack. I don't think I will ever have to worry about never seeing another turn-based JRPG before. It's never going to happen. Just like, I think certain games absolutely benefit from tank controls. And those games can be made by indie people. Because no big company is going to put out a tank control game. You got Atelier. That's turn-based? Well, not anymore really, but, you know. And that's fair, yeah. Yep. I didn't know you could do that, and I didn't mean to do that. I was just messing with the sticks. I'm gonna let the credits play. I don't want to mess with them. We do want the credits to go. I always go through the credits. I didn't know that was gonna happen, or I wouldn't have done it. Dragon Quest is... I've only played 3 Dragon Quests, but I've liked all the ones I've played. I've only rolled credits on one of them, but I can't really say I've beaten that one, technically. They better be long credits. This game clearly... Like, you don't get a game that looks like this and is this polished. It's not just the graphical fidelity. The combat was smooth the whole way. And like I said, we've played, I want to say about 60 hours. I don't know the actual timing of this. I can check the PlayStation later. Let's say 50 hours. And I have never had a moment that felt janky. So that takes a lot of people to make a game with this level of combat, this level of graphics, this level of story, this level of spectacle, and none of it feel janky. That's not easy. You don't do that with a squad of 5 people. You just don't. Yeah. Sophie 2 was... Oh, I didn't play Sophie 2. I've only played the Rise in the modern times. And Lydian Sewell was, so you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 11 did Dark really well when it went there. I agree. Yeah. What are we doing after credits? I don't know. We'll see if anything unlocks here. I could try to do some trophy cleanup. We could do some of those challenge stuff. We could try out Odin if we wanted to stick in this game. If it doesn't unlock new stuff here. I don't know. Hey Mitz, welcome to Viperland in the chat. How's it going? We beat the game. I don't think anybody actually saw anything of those final scenes. Oh, I just saw your bitrate thing. That's awesome. Oh man, that is a great bitrate screenshot. I appreciate that a lot. Koei Tecmo Games, which is what Gust is under. No, that's not Koei. Is it Koei Tecmo? Yeah, right. Atelier games may be high priced generally, but they go on sale often. They really do. They go on sale very often. So it'll hit the also thanks, Mitz. I still may or may not do the Splatfest tomorrow, but I don't know, maybe. Even if it's just me on Strawberry, it's an excuse to hang out in voice chat and have song requests, which is a good excuse at any time. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I've had this problem lately of just focusing on one problem at a time, which is why I kind of have to start rushing con prep, because I was so focused on the heat and the air conditioner problem that I hadn't really looked past it. I was so focused on it, and now it's like, it's supposed to rain and thunder all weekend. HOTS is in state Monday. Sometime between today and Thursday, I have to do a bunch of shopping, grocery shopping. I bring snacks and drinks and stuff there. We eat out plenty, but like I still want to have stuff in the room. Excuse me. I always bring like cereal bars, breakfast bars. Excuse me, dang. Some bottled soda. There's just supplies I need. I need to get a haircut because I ain't getting this. You guys can't even see because it's just on black, but I'm not getting this hair under a wig cap. I refuse. I'm getting my yearly haircut. I gotta make sure I do laundry. I gotta make sure my cosplay is set, which it should be. I haven't touched it since last year, so it should just be in the closet. But like, I have these things I have to do now, and they have to be done before Thursday all of a sudden. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So I hadn't really, that was my long form way of saying I hadn't really thought about what I'm going to stream tomorrow because I was focused on finishing this. I'm glad we have. I'm glad I'm now spoiler free. I can't be spoiled for this game. I can freely go on social media again. We were ahead of the curve for a while, but like now, like 20 to 30% of people were on the trophies that I had that were like story based. Really being a hobbit in the base here. There you go. That works. But I got a con this upcoming weekend. Not this weekend, but upcoming. Sorry, this upcoming week's gonna be very few streams too. We're streaming Monday. That's it. Yeah. Liking niche games? Yeah. I love right now. Oh, that's awful. It hit 90 on Wednesday here, and we got the ACs put in Tuesday, so we barely made it. And that's already 90 for me is my upper limit. That is too hot immediately. Yeah, not living in heat is no humidity helps. We have humidity here always, always. Like at minimum here in the summer, it's like 40% humidity. That's a super dry day. Most days are 70, 80, and if it's cloudy and rainy, obviously 90 plus. So yeah, that definitely affects it. No humidity helps. Over 100 is still pretty dangerous though. Like, straight up dangerous. I can't wait for this soundtrack to hit Spotify. We know it's going to, it's just a matter of when. Can't wait for it so I can start listening to like all the soundtrack. Also, maybe obvious because I've stated it multiple times, and the probably over 1,000, definitely over 1,000 screenshots by now. Game pretty. Joshua scene was very good, yeah. Yeah. It's very good, and it comes back enough to remind you of it without it being, like, omnipresent. I do love and appreciate how often Prelude was in just everything. Just some of it was obvious, some of it was like just tinkle away in the background a little bit, but like Prelude infused the entire soundtrack with Final Fantasy. I'm glad Soken got to do some vocal themes, specifically Titan. Very good. There's a character. Yeah, that'll help too, for sure. Yeah, wouldn't work. But that's why you got top tier composers. Soken. That's something Final Fantasy's never really hurt for. Even, like, sure, Uematsu. Clearly an ascendant level composer. Nobody's gonna argue that. But, like, even the games he hasn't composed for have never slacked. They've had a very different style, but it's never a bad one. Chill got a theme. Yeah. Like, yeah, Jill and Clive clearly had a lot of time together, but that time was primarily off camera. So they kind of just, from our point of view, kind of just ended up leaning on each other because they were who they had. They got to kiss twice, though. Only once if you did the side quest. Like a coward. I'm so glad Torval got a Super Saiyan form. Like, I wish I knew how to activate it more frequently, but like, that was cool. Yeah, even a montage would have helped. It's tough because, like, I also see why they did the time skips. It really let them show the world change and the just sheer scale of the story. Like, I like and appreciate that they did the time skips, but it did take away that aspect of things. This wasn't a story that takes place over the course of like a month. Of just like a journey happening over like a month or a week or whatever, where you go from leaving your village to there's a god destroying the world, we gotta stop it, all in an indeterminate time of like, we rested at like 20 inns, has it been 20 nights? This is stretched over a long time, stretched over a lifetime. Yeah, Three Houses is a character-driven game. Whereas this, I would argue, wasn't intending to be a character-driven game. Yeah, I'd agree, yeah. This was meant to be more big storyline, spectacle, world-building, darkness. I don't think the point of it, I don't think like when they sat down to design this game, they're like, we want to have character-driven game for Clive and Jill. I don't think that was the point. But, you're right, Three Houses did it very well. In this one, you don't see as much. Honestly, I feel like this game is more about the overarching world and the people in it, as opposed to Clive, Jill, Torval. Torval's still best, though. We can all agree. We can all agree. They really wanted the world to arguably be the big character. And they did really good world building, I feel. I really do feel like they really hit that out of the park. Ultima felt like a... He did a decent job of feeling like a powerful villain and an enigmatic villain. You really didn't know what he was doing. And like the first time he showed up, man, the first time he shows up and just that whole nonsense, like with what was it, Typhoon? Like, man, yes, it's a very Z from Xenoblade 3 villain. Yes, yeah. I really like how different and unsettling he looked, felt, and acted. I think Ultima was a very good, like, unsettling villain. I don't think I'm ever going to put this Ultima up there with, like, the highest highs of Final Fantasy villainry, but I feel like he did his job well. He made for a really epic spectacle last boss fight, and I loved that. You didn't see any of it, but still, whatever. You guys saw like 10 pixels of that a minute, but it was really cool, let me tell you. Yeah, I like the different phases he went through. I'm a sucker for wings, so him just having 6 wings. I like that they were different wings too. It wasn't 3 pairs of the same wings. There's 3 different pairs. I appreciate that. I like that. Nice touch. But he's never gonna sit up there like with Sephiroth, and I feel like Sephiroth's always the number 1 for me. Honestly, these days you also have Emmett Selk. It's like Sephiroth, Kefka, Emmett Selk. I don't think Ultimecia is really an iconic. I like Ultimecia, but I don't think she's like an iconic Final Fantasy villain. Same with Kuja. I like Kuja as a villain, but I don't think a lot of people like cite him as iconic. Maybe Seymour from legitimately better. He honestly gets more time. He's a central character of that entire narrative. Emmett is very good, but I think if you pulled the population of the world at large, the thing is, there are people who have never touched a video game before that can pick Sephiroth out of a crowd. I don't think you could ever make the argument that Emmett Selk is more well-known than Sephiroth. Better written? You know, maybe. Super memorable god-tier villain? Absolutely. But, like, cultural significance? Not even close. Not even close. Sephiroth is iconic to people who have never played a video game before. And that's hard to do. That's true. Times also, while I love the MMOs ain't for everyone. They just aren't. There's inherently people, and I'll admit, until I played 14, I thought WoW had a good MMO story. Now in hindsight, it's like, wow, they weren't even trying, were they? WoW had some good moments. And if you actually go through and read the greater lore and not just the big cinematic moments, it's good to, wow, storyline-wise. If they don't retcon at all.
Fairy tales, and fairy tales don't boil kettles.
The magic is gone then.
Well done.
Okay.
Now be a good lad and play with your brother until supper.
That's fair. Yeah. It is a different time now, and you can't just do that for a character anymore. That's fair.
Right, let's play the Saint in the Secretary. No, I don't want to be Madu. What do you want to play then? War of the
Final Fantasy, Joshua Rossfield.
Right. If I get to be a freak. Right, I'm the older brother.
A new puppy.
Says so.
Alright, puppy's Bahamut. That's fair. Perfect. Yeah, they de-fantasied the world. They literally de-fantasied it. By design. Falling Star. Fulfill a legacy. Create game clear data. Hell yeah, create game clear data. New Game Plus is now available from the title screen. This option allows you to start a new game with player and item data carried over from previously completed playthrough. The gameplay mode Final Fantasy is now also available for use exclusively within New Game Plus. The Final Fantasy gameplay mode offers the following: increased enemy strength, and increased player level cap. I didn't realize the cap wasn't 100. New gear and items, mode exclusive content. Last one has my interest. Mode exclusive content. Spend time here until the stories feel it's all metaphorical for what actually happened. Maybe, you know. Could be the case. Wonder what's Final Fantasy mode. If we play the game in Final Fantasy mode with data carried over from previous playthrough, level cap rates 100, but enemies are far more powerful, so hard mode. In New Journey, the legendary Ultima weapon is available for crafting. After starting, you'll be unable to switch to story or action focus mode. Okay, so you're set into it. So, we do have 2 hours left. Should I start a Final Fantasy into 2 hours of the beginning of the game in hard mode? Or should we just swap to something else and do 2 hours of something? I feel like I'll probably play more of this off camera, but I'm not going to commit to any more of it on camera. I might do more, I might even not, who knows. I might let it simmer for a bit. Yeah, I'm down to swap too, honestly. I feel like this is a good place to